Hello, everybody. I'd like to open up with a quick apology. I've tried recording literally one of the easiest games to record, but my computer couldn't handle it. Kind of like what you saw yesterday, my last video, how blurry and how skipping it was. I tried fixing that. I changed all my settings around in OBS. I watched tutorials on how to fix it. It just wouldn't work. So sadly, I'm not going to make another one of those videos. And to the people who were playing with me today, I'm sorry, but the videos aren't going to come out because my computer just can't handle it, sadly. I thought it could. I changed the settings around. I changed it to like even the lowest FPS I could, as well as the you know thing. Right now, even it says encoder coding overloaded, and I'm not even doing anything. So yeah. Anyway, I decided just for a simple one, just to apologize, and then because I've made a lot of art recently, actually, like throughout the whole year, and I've never really did another update besides a few, tutorials and stuff. Still, encoding overloaded. That shouldn't happen. I'm not really doing anything. I just have this open. But so I want to show you my art starting from the beginning. I don't care if this skips because it's going to be single frames. All I care about is that my voice will work. So I'm going to try to hide my. There we go. I'm going to hide. No, I can't do that. Going to hide my mouse in the corner here, and I'm going to show you. Just a kind of a slideshow. This is an 8-ball, just pretty straightforward. I think I've showed you guys that before. I think it was actually my profile picture once. This is a simple thing that I did in the beginning. It was literally just I was playing around with lights and stuff. I was like, it'd be cool if like just a simple red and blue light in a mirror room. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. So that's exactly what this is. Here's a bedroom. This one was more recently. Um, I was playing around to see what like I could make, and I'm pretty proud of it for like my first time building something like this. That's one of my first projects. That was the can't remember who made the tutorial, but I did the donut tutorial, and this was one of my test renders. This I figured out on my own. Um, well, actually, I was watching a video, and somebody said that was talking about like quick effects, and I was like, all right, cool. So I did a bit of quick effects, and I just kind of put this together, and I thought it was pretty cool. This is like frame 128 or something out of the whole animation, but the reason why I did it here and only took a picture is because my computer takes forever to do anything really. So I like it, but it's actually getting on my nerves at this point how slow the computer is. Um, but it does the job. Plus, I can always just use NVIDIA if I need to record a game. So, well, only certain games, but still, I have NVIDIA. Anyway, so this was a pretty cool one. Same blue and red light that I had, as well as I think like a purple one in the middle or something. This was one of my very first ones. This is just a chandelier, I guess you'd say. Not really, but there's a candle in the middle, just kind of like a poorly made candle. Alright, this was definitely like my first one. Just a simple cube on a reflective surface. That's it. That was my first, like one of my first things I ever did was this. This one was really way back as well. This is me just learning about glass and stuff. As you can see, it's quite noisy, and I didn't know what a denoiser or anything was, and I didn't really model anything. This was more recently. I had a modeled fridge, and I was like, well, I wanted to try using the Blender kit, which is like an online thing where people can upload things they make for other people to use in their things. I've actually used quite a few assets like plants and trees and stuff. But that's only because plants and trees are hard to make, and plus it's so much easier just to import them. But here's here's a good little fridge I made. Ah, okay. This right here was also one of my first. I made an 8-ball, and I was like, well, I want to make something cool. I want to try to make something cool. So I put a big red light pointing at this, like, I don't even know. I can't call it an octagon. There's way too many faces for that. I don't know. And then I put some frosted glass. Ugh, of course, that can open really quickly when I don't want it to. But here's that. Then we have this. This was more recently. I figured out how to make fingers, and this was when I was learning Dine Topo. So it was really, really fun to just kind of sit there and see it. Of course, it's not a closed hand. Like if you look right here, you can't see the palm or anything. Plus, you can tell these are all the exact same finger by how the thumb works. No, don't do that. This is one of my first ones as well. It's just a monkey with a red light inside because this is when I was playing around with glass. One of my very first models. This was fun to make, and even though it doesn't look very good, I was very impressed back then. This I made for my stepfather. He liked to golf, so I made him a golf club with a J. This my mom wanted me to make, and it's just a simple helmet. This is when I was also beginning because I was sitting there like, well, what should I make? Like I'm new to this, and I don't really know what to make, so I took a sphere, cut it in half, and just kind of loosely pulled it down and made this. This was also back then, but it was kind of a little bit more recently. I wanted to make honeycombs with honey inside of them. I At first I did try to offset them, but I wasn't very good at it. So I just made simple honeycomb pattern, which this would actually be good. I'm 100% sure this is not procedural, but I think this would actually look pretty cool, just kind of like plastered on something. If I could make it procedural. This I also made quite way back. I was like, let me try sort of one of my first big scale quote unquote works because, well, you know, is what I that's what I wanted to really do was make big giant things, which I really can't. But I can definitely make the falsehood that I can because I can make some pretty cool things just small scale that makes it look big. But anyway, I did really enjoy this. This was actually a cool one for me. Also, like three of those objects in there actually have physics attached to them. So I was just trying to use physics to get a realistic like dropping effect. Also, if you look closely, you can see one of my older works that I showed you in the as a picture in the background. Okay, this one was more recently. This is an Eevee render, believe it or not. I modeled a skull, or like a just like a simple skull because I didn't know what I was doing. I was in the car and I was bored, so I decided to make this, and then I attached like uh, old paper and old paper texture into the uh, I forget what it's called. It's the other one. It's like you have color and then you have the one that like you can add to it. I can't actually remember that. That's sad that I don't remember that. I've used Blender for a year. How would I not know that? Anyway, I thought this was pretty cool when it came out, and this one didn't even take like a minute to come out because I was using Eevee. This was a straight razor. That's all I really have to say about this. This is my first like time trying to make a weapon. It wasn't very good, but at the time I was like, yeah, that looks pretty cool. It wasn't what I wanted, but it still looks cool. Ah, all right. I modeled this in school. This is obviously the Mandalorian helmet because someone's like, I was sitting there like, well, what should I make? And they're like, well, make the Mandalorian helmet. I'm like, yes. So I decided to make this. This only took me like not even 3 minutes. This was like more recent, like not even a month ago. I don't think. Actually, it might have been over a little over a month. But this was actually pretty simple to make. I actually recreated it 3 times in front of people because teacher came over and was like, "Did you really build in that small amount of time?" I'm like, yeah, and then I showed him how it was done again. Which obviously, when I showed him how it was done again, it went faster. So it was like, "Whoa!" And then another kid came by. I was like, "Whoa, did you make that?" I'm like, "Yes." And then I showed him. Yeah, just so that happened. Old one. Just was messing around with it because Blender blew my mind back then. So I was just kind of making simple things that looked really cool. And you gotta admit, it looks pretty cool. Okay. Story behind this one. And whoever has played Noida, which is a game where literally every pixel is simulated with physics and properties and stuff, their freaking how do you call it? Their icon didn't I didn't quite like their icon, so I made my own. But hold on, let me show you. I don't. hide that so I don't have to. No, no, no. Stop it. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, whatever. Anyway, but when I did it, when I turned it into a .ico, it didn't come out right, so that's what it looks like now. But I guess it kind of fits because it's all pixelated. So anyway, let me go back into full screen. Hopefully my computer doesn't explode. So that's the story behind that one. This was actually before the bedroom picture. This was a pretty cool one. I was thinking about like making an office. Well, obviously, but like I didn't know why, so I just kind of built this. And I gotta say, it was pretty good. Also, this is literally the first time ever that I did my own texturing. That mouse texture right there is actually made by me, so that was pretty fun. Ah, I I was sitting there thinking, man, what would be nostalgic for me and anyone who saw this? So I was like, yes. So I made the pea shooter from the original Plants vs Zombies. Uh, when I was making this, no one had any clue what it was until I was finished, which was pretty funny. Even though I was sitting there with it like halfway done, it has the shape and everything. They're like, what's that? I'm like, you'll see. Just be patient. But yeah. So I put little pea cannonballs beside him. Yeah, sorry. So I put little pea cannonballs beside him, and it got his black beady eyes. And if you look at the leaves, they're kind of poor, but it fits really. Especially with the ones on the back of his head too. They can kind of barely see, but they're there. Ah, this I was just really bored and I didn't know what to do, so I slapped a bunch of random objects in a room looking thing with a Glock. That's literally the story behind this picture. I was bored, had random objects with textures, and I had a Glock. Ah, okay. This is when I pretty much. This is like 2 months in using Blender. I didn't know that you could do an array modifier or anything, and I didn't know that like you could give multiple faces different colors. So this is my try at a Rubik's cube, and we had a battle to see who could make it the better one. He won, obviously. Look at this monstrosity. Ugh. Not only that, but his actually had all sides and colors. See, this only has a wall of blue and a wall of white. His was a full Rubik's cube. I was trying to, because if you look here, you don't see any like white like you do here. You just see black. That's because I didn't actually put any blocks there, like to give the camera illusion that there's something there, but there really isn't. And plus, it just looks horrible. This one was extremely recent. This was like last week. I got bored and I was like, what should I model? And someone's like, Stewie. So I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, this is my rendition of Stewie. Uh, I did a play using the lights, like see how there's blue here and red there. I was trying to make it look like the cops are following him. Also, as you can see, I've gotten pretty good at texturing now because look at those eyes. I textured those myself. Look pretty real, don't they? I forgot to I accidentally mirrored them before I did anything. Or sorry, I shouldn't have mirrored them. I should have, but I should have separated one and then made them look at the camera, but I didn't. This one also last week. I got bored. I was like, well, I was watching a bunch of sci-fi stuff. So I'm like, well, I might as well make like a simple sci-fi-ish subway in a sci-fi car with a sci-fi, literally red glowing dude like you'd see in a sci-fi game or whatever. But yeah, that was last week. Okay, this was a sword. I just got bored. This was a while ago, as you can tell, because of how badly textured and made it is. But yeah, this is a sword, which is hard to tell. This is my first try at making realistic stuff. As you can see, it didn't go too well, so just basically took a bunch of models online, except for the cup and the plate and the little ball of sugar there. I made those, but I tried, doing everything, and I did it wrong, quite obviously. But this is my first try at realism. Okay. This has a bit of a story behind it. I was again bored, but I was also trying to learn this, so I was boredly learning Blender, and well, I decided, well, I want to still try realism because my last thing I made just didn't turn out right, and so I was like, all right, fine. So I took the pre-made teapot, and then I made my own cup and platter as well, and made a floor and stuff. And I just kind of did this and made the world completely dark and just had my own lights. And I gotta say, it came out really well. Like I showed this picture when I was teaching classes. I showed this picture of them. They're like, "Wow, is that real?" I'm like, "No, but you thought it was." They're like, "Yeah." So yeah, that's the story behind that, really. Unis Honest. We, well, I'm not grabbing for attention here, but this was one of the best year-long YouTube channels ever created. Actually, I think it was like the only one. I'm not sure if anybody's done that before, but like Mark and Ethan and whoever they brought along, just like a whole year of videos, just to and then makes them suddenly disappear like that. That was ingenious, really. I gotta say. So I just kind of made this. I didn't really have enough lot of time, so I was like, I still want to make something because they made me happy throughout the year. But so this is what I came up with, and I thought it was pretty cool. All right, this is a actually like I don't know, like half a year old actually. I made this because I was still working on realistic stuff. I was like, well, I want to actually work hard at something, so I decided let's do this. So I made a bunch of stuff and I put it. And I made a table and the wooden background. As you can see, it doesn't look perfect, but it looked really, really cool. It still looks really, really cool. In fact, I really like this. But people, this is like the whenever I show people my art, they think this one's their favorite all the time. I don't know why. I like it too. Oh, okay, that's all of them. But yeah, so that's my art. There we go. So that was that was a lot of my art. There's more. Let's see if I can't go back here. Working on it. Got a bunch of this. Actually, I had school animation. I'm not sure where. Actually, I do know where I put them, but they're not really important. They're not as good as they should be. These I made for friends. So come on, come on, computer. There we go. So I got bored and modeled a bunch of my friends, and recently it was one of my friends' birthdays. So there's two in here. This one has a story behind it. Uh, However, said story does not belong to me, so I won't. So I won't say it. But I gotta say, it's a very, very deep story, and it changed. It changed me. Anyway, so that's why there's a bunch of papers here. Here's the happy birthday one. This was actually a pretty good one. There's the preset trees I was talking about right there. Yeah. Here he is again. This was before, so I just modeled a bunch of my friends and made pictures for them. I'm still modeling actually. Uh, there's a cup, there's a cup of coffee. There's a little thing, as you can see. It's supposed to be a barista or something. Okay. So this was my New Year's picture because I made one and I I don't know. I just thought, well, it's almost New Year's. Everybody's doing something for it, so I might as well too. So I did this, and as you can see, it's not the best. But I didn't know what to make, so I just made what came to my mind. I was like, well, sunset with a giant moon, just in the grass. Just normal thing, beautiful, simple. So that's that. The Devil May Cry stuff. No, this is like my favorite. well, favorite as in like favorite old pictures. So this was like a test render, just getting him into position. As you can see, he's gonna be like this. Well, yeah. I always did a test render because I was like, well, what should I do? As you can see, I tried. I I guess when I was thinking, I was like, well, might as well make it kind of look like it would in Devil May Cry. So you have like the spray painted background, the high, really weird looking pillars, and the just well, that was an accident, but yeah. Then this, I was like, well, I still thought it was pretty cool, but I wanted to do one more, so I just kind of made a simple him. And then this is the one I used for that I used for a while in my YouTube icon at the bottom left there. The rest aren't that important, but I'll show you them anyway. This is when I got my like first models. I was bored and I was looking for these because I wanted to do an animation because I saw a lot of them. So hold on. I'll show you the difference between Cycles and Eevee, even though you just saw. Let me get them in really big, high definition here. This is your brain on Cycles. This is your brain on Eevee. You can tell just how far apart they are. Like, extremely. But yeah. Of course, test render, regular render, blah, blah, blah. Then when I first got it, I was messing around with bones. You can see that the eyes are glowing. The reason I did that is I didn't plug them into the nodes right. So her eyes are always glowing there. Yeah, you can see I just did a bunch of facial rigging and animation. Okay, here's the creepy part. Here's the creepy part, because she didn't actually have an eye texture that came with her, so I had to actually steal my own pretty much. Actually, I think I did that by myself. Yeah, okay. So I had to make my own. Let me zoom in here. If we zoom in, you can tell it's hand drawn by the way the lines are. So yeah, I had to make her eyes all by myself. Then I got another one. Well, actually, hold on. These are some videos I actually did. These are probably going to skip horribly. Encoding overloaded. Shut up. Deal with it. It's only encoding. It's probably going to skip, but... Oh, wow. Okay, the original video is skipping too. Here. Let's try again. No, hold on. Okay. No, stop it. There. Oh my god. Okay, repeat. There we go. Alright. Okay. There we go. So this is actually my first animation. This one I was just starting out. Literally. I think that was like my second, maybe first or second month. This has made just testing out a thing. Stop it. Stop it. Oh my god. Hey. Okay. Why are you... No, stop it. Okay, whatever. There's a simple loading animation that I did. I didn't... It didn't come out quite right. It's supposed to have bloom and everything, but it didn't work properly. Caught you that time. Simple animation. Bored. Trying it for the first time. There we go. Ugh. Again, trying things for the first time. Simple animations. I still don't know how to do animations. Whoopsie. Needed that. Hopefully things are still going. CPU's hit 50% almost. That is so stupid. Let's see. Ooh, okay. simple things. I was bored. This isn't like a TF2 loadout, as you can see. I pulled two different friggin' models of Bonk, which was funny to me. Even now, here's like my scout loadout. Well, used to be. I used to use the atomizer and then the Bonk atomic punch a lot, but I don't now. Okay, so that's a decal I have on my conscientious objector. God, I hate me. Anyway, conscientious objector. That's the picture I have on it. This is just the TF2 logo. As you can see, I made this pretty early on, so it looks boring and sucks. Same with the Sentry. I actually don't know why the Sentry wasn't working. I put the texture on correctly and everything. I even checked like after, and it's like, no, I don't know why that's not working. Seriously, it should have been working. Let's go here. Can't wait to show you all of the creepy ones, because I have a whole folder of creepy ones, and I love it. I love my creepy folder, and I love adding to it too. Stop it. Again, eyes are glowing because I didn't know how to texture things properly. These are just a bunch of different me messing around with bones. Although I gotta say, the bones and the way they placed them did not work correctly in any sense. Even though that may look fine, if you're trying to use it for animation, which I was, that's what it's actually. This is supposed to be the cover art for. As you can see, it has a name for it. And that was supposed to be cover art for an animation I was doing, but it never worked. It didn't work. I didn't know how to animate, and using that rig sucked horribly. It was extremely bad. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. So let me show the videos first. This one's not complete. I gave up halfway through. So I gotta right about here, right? Oh. Okay. There we go. Okay, so that right there is actually one of my other. Well, this is the one I gave up on, but this one. Let me just pause that real quick. We play repeat. This this one's pretty horrible. I still don't know how to do linear animation, which is insane to me because I've watched the tutorial many times and like, how do I keep it smoothing so it doesn't go slow at first and then speed up? So I'm still trying. I don't know why. I'm still figuring that out, which is funny to me. Let me show you the rest of these. Hopefully my computer still does not explode because I don't know. Still, the encoding is like, please kill me. Okay. Bootman. Bootleg Batman. Or just Bootman. Again, one of my very first models. I don't know why I thought of this. I just did. Buff Crabs. Come on. Stop it. There. Buff Crabs. That's it. Just an extremely buff Mr. Krabs that I made for no other reason than it was funny. This was my first attempt at lips, but the model I used, I just kind of built like a simple face shape and then added extremely large lips, so it just looks extremely weird and funny, and I like it. Gary the Snail. I have really no, I really have no words for this. It's just creepy. I like it, and it was funny. Mario. This is Mario. And the joke is, whenever I send this to someone, I said, "It's okay. It's only your soul." Yeah, I said that wrong. I'm too tired for this. So this is Mario, quote unquote. Squidward. This is by far my favorite one. Just Squidward. SpongeBob. No words. Just SpongeBob. Really, that's it. Just SpongeBob. Oh, that was it. Oh man, I really need to make more of those. I actually have a few Blender things that I haven't finished yet. And that's it. Yeah, I think that, yeah, that's all of them. Well, this has been a recap of all the art that I've done over the year, almost a year. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Peace.